Bears fans, we did it. I am your host, Harrison Graham. We got to the final day of 2020. It's been a challenging year for, I'm sure, many of you guys, a lot of us nationwide and around the world, but it's also been a fun year here on Chicago Bears Now, and I've got one more challenge for you guys. Can we hit 19,000 subs here on the channel before 2021, by midnight tonight, before the ball drops in New York City? We're like 372 away, or 362 away. Bad math there. Look, it's a lofty goal, but hey, we've hit goals all year long. We launched on January 7th, and we're almost at 19K. They can get there with your help. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and share this channel with a friend. YouTube.com/BearsNow. Tell them to subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. It would be an awesome way to enter 2021. All right, we got a three-pack of rumors on today's show for the final video of 2020. Is Mitchell Trubisky locked in and ready to go against the Green Bay Packers? 4 smoking Jays on this one. This one's obvious, and he better be, right? Because this is the biggest game of Mitch Trubisky's career. That is not hyperbolic. That's just a fact. He's fighting for his career in Chicago. The Bears did not pick up his fifth-year option, as you guys know. And who would have thought that we would be here after he got benched in Week 3? And now he's got a chance to, A, get the Bears into the playoffs, and B, perhaps show Chicago and this franchise that, yeah, I can be the quarterback, at least for 2021, if not longer, for the Chicago Bears. I'll say this now. If Trubisky goes out and beats Aaron Rodgers and the Packers on Sunday, he's going to be your starting quarterback in 2021 for a couple of options. 1, he will have earned it, at least for next year. And 2, what other options do the Bears really have at that point? But Trubisky's locked in, like I said. This is what he had to say with his media appearance this week. I won't be thinking about that, no, as far as the possibility of this being his final game with the Bears. I'll be locked in, ready to go for the game. I'm excited about that opportunity. I think everything I've experienced this season has just made me stronger and a better person and player. And since he's returned to the lineup, Mitchell Trubisky deserves a lot of credit. And Matt Nagy's talked about this. Like, look, when he got benched, this could have gone the other way. He could have checked out. He could have said, hey, I'm a free agent after this year. I'll just get ready to go to my new team. But instead, he stayed focused. He was a good teammate to Nick Foles. And when he got his opportunity to step back into the lineup, he's been fantastic. But none of that matters, or at least it doesn't all completely matter. It matters no matter what. But it would matter even more. It would mean so much more if he can deliver against the Packers and complete the job here and get the Bears into the postseason. This team was dead 3 weeks ago, but Trubisky's got to deliver on the big stage. This is the biggest game of his career. It's one thing to beat the Texans, to beat the Vikings, the Jags, teams that are not that great and not that motivated, although Minnesota was motivated to win, but teams that were out of the playoff hunt. You go out and beat the Packers, who are trying to get the number 1 seed in the biggest game of your life, that's meaningful. He's got to deliver on Sunday. I'm excited to watch him take advantage of this opportunity. He's locked in. He's ready to go. Hopefully he can get it done this week. Now, is this game a must-win for Mitchell Trubisky? Type Y for yes, type N for no. It's like that part of it's like 3.5 smoking Jays for me. It's not quite 4, but it's as close as you can get, because you lose this game and you don't get into the playoffs. What do the last 3 weeks really mean? I think it's as close to a must-win as you can get, so I'm leaning yes. I'm not fully there, but I'm very, very close. Let me know what you guys think. Is this a must-win for Mitchell Trubisky? Now, if you're unfamiliar with our Smokin' Jay rumor meter heads here, this is basically how it goes. If I give it 0 Smokin' Jays, that's because it's fake news. It's just someone just blowing smoke. It makes no sense whatsoever. 1 Smokin' Jay, it's barely true. Small shred of truth. It could happen, but it's pretty unlikely. 2 Smokin' Jays, people are talking, and it's 50-50, somewhere in that range. 3 Smokin' Jays, it's pretty likely, 70+% chance. And then 4 Smokin' Jays, bear down, because it is happening. And hey, 4 Smokin' Jays for Trubisky being locked in, because yeah, he's ready to go this Sunday. Now, how worried are you about the Rams-Cardinals game, specifically with the Rams injury around Jared Goff? 3 Smokin' Jays, you should be pretty concerned. You may not be able to rely on LA. That's the simple fact, because A, Goff is out, and Kyler Murray, yeah, he's going to give it a go. He's going to play. He said on Wednesday that, yeah, I'm going to play. Too much on the line. I'm good to go. He's dealing with that leg injury. He's banged up, not 100%, but 75-80% Kyler Murray is a much better situation for Arizona than Jared Goff being out for the Rams is for LA. Like, that's advantage Cardinals in this game. And as you guys know, for the Chicago Bears, if they lose to the Packers, they need a Rams win to get into the postseason. And the way I see it, looking ahead to this Rams-Cardinals game, as far as I'm concerned, the Bears already got their favor from Arizona. To expect them to lose a second game now, like, you're asking for too much. The 49ers already gave you a gift by beating Kyler Murray and the Cardinals last week. If you're going to get upset if the Cardinals lose this week, you already got your gift, man. You just got to go and get it done if you are the Chicago Bears. Now, certainly the Cardinals could lose, only 3.5-point favorites, but yeah, it's not looking as good as it once did even just a few days ago. Now, if you want to go bet on this matchup, the Bears game, or any other NFL, NBA, or any other sporting event, you can do it at BetRivers. Chatsports.com/BetIL, Chatsports.com/BetIN. Those guys are going to give you a 100% deposit match when you sign up. And you can sign up and deposit from anywhere, but to actually place a bet, you must be within state lines of Indiana or in Illinois. Chatsports.com/BetIN for you Indiana folks. Chatsports.com/BetIL if you are in Illinois. So Jared Goff is out, which means John Wolford, a.k.a. Alliance of American Football League legend, is going to get the start, and he's taken, 0 career snaps. Played a little bit in the preseason last year in 2019, but look, it's one thing for C.J. Beathard, a guy who's played a decent amount of football in the NFL for the 49ers, to step in and manage a game and beat Arizona. It's another thing for John Wolford, a guy who's literally never taken a snap in the National Football League, to go out and beat the Cardinals. You can't rely on the Rams if you're Chicago. I have no doubts that that's been the message from Matt Nagy this week. Like, don't worry about other playoff scenarios, other avenues to get in. We got to beat the Packers. That's got to be the message if you're Matt Nagy and this coaching staff to the Chicago Bears football team. Like, hey, thank you, Arizona, for losing last week, but to expect that again this week, it's just not very likely. So what is more likely, that the Bears beat the Packers or that the Cardinals lose to the Los Angeles Rams? Type CHI for the Bears winning, type ARI for the Cardinals losing. Let me know. What do you think is a more likely scenario and a more likely path for the Bears making the postseason? Now, speaking of this big matchup between the Bears and the Packers, we're going to be live on Chicago Bears Now for a watch party. So subscribe and join us 4:15 Eastern Time this Sunday. And remember, our goal for the end of 2020, let's reach 19,000 subs before midnight, at least before kickoff. But I want to get there before January 1st, 2021. So subscribe, turn on your notifications. Let's reach that goal, and we will be live this Sunday for the biggest game of the year. And yes, we'll keep up the tabs on that Cardinals-Rams game as well. All right, final one here, then we will sign off for the year, weirdly enough to say. NFL expanding the playoff field this year. One Smokin' Jay, it's not completely fake news. There is a small avenue of this happening, and you're thinking, how are they gonna expand the field on the fly like this? Well, the Cleveland Browns, who are fighting for a playoff spot in the AFC, have not been able to practice for 2 days. They have had their facility shut down the past 2 days for COVID issues. This has been lingering for a couple of weeks now. They lost last week to the Jets because they had a bunch of guys out. And the NFL, several weeks ago, put a policy into place for this exact scenario, saying, hey, if certain games don't get played, we can expand the playoff field. So let's take a look at the key verbiage here, and we'll kind of explain this into more details as the Browns try to get ready for their Steelers matchup this week. If the 256-game regular season is played, that's all 16 games for all 32 teams, or if games that are unable to be played do not otherwise affect eligibility or seeding for the postseason, the normal playoff format stays in effect. Here's the problem. It does affect the seeding and the eligibility for the postseason because only 3 teams in the AFC have clinched a playoff berth. The Titans, Dolphins, Ravens, Browns, and Colts, those 5 teams are fighting for the final 4 playoff spots. So this Browns-Steelers game has direct implications on the postseason in the AFC. So that does not apply for saying the normal postseason format would stay in effect for this situation because this game has to be played. There's no way around it. So if it doesn't get played, if any game that factors into the playoff seeding or eligibility doesn't, This is in play as well. More verbiage from the NFL's contingency plan. 8 teams from each conference shall qualify for the postseason, which shall be conducted in the current 4-round structure. All qualifying teams will play in the first round, which is, of course, the wild card round. What does that mean? No first-round byes. 8 teams in the NFC would make it. 8 teams in the AFC would make it. So I don't think this is super likely. I think at the end of the day, this Browns game will get played, but if they can't meet the minimum standards for playing this game on Sunday due to the COVID-19 issues, is the NFL going to push back the playoffs a week and let the Browns and Steelers play next week? I don't think so. I think there's a possibility they could expand to a 16-team field, which means, of course, the Bears would be an automatic lock for the postseason. All of that being said, and while there is a small chance that could happen, if you're the Bears, and the point of the last few days for me and all week long, this is the focus. Just beat the Packers. You've got to focus on yourselves. You can't worry about what the Rams and Cardinals are going to do. You can't worry about, if Cleveland doesn't play the Steelers, maybe the NFL is going to expand the playoff field. Could those things happen? Possibly. Is it likely? Who knows, right? Like, all you can do is control what you can control. You are now in control of your playoff destiny, which was not the case this time a week ago. Go beat the Packers. It's the game of the year in the NFC. You got to get it done if you're Chicago. You've won 3 in a row against inferior competition. Now can you go be a legitimate Super Bowl contender on the biggest game of the year and with your quarterback who's fighting for his career? I'm excited to see this game play out. It'll be fun to see if Mitchell Trubisky and the Bears can get things done against the Green Bay Packers, who are 5.5-point favorites at Soldier Field this Sunday. So predict the score. My official prediction was 31-24 Packers. Like I said, I keep it real. I'm not going to be fake. I'm not going to pretend and make up a score I don't think is likely. I think the Packers will win. I think the Bears will compete. I hope I'm wrong. Join us for our watch party. But get your final score predictions in. Packers, Bears, this Sunday, 4:25 Eastern Time. Tune in for our watch party. Final note here before we sign things off. Bobby Massey, could he return for the playoffs? Maybe. He's entered the 21-day return window as the Bears have designated him to return. He practiced a little bit on Wednesday. He will not play on Sunday against the Green Bay Packers, but if the Bears were to advance to the postseason, he could be available. So keep that in mind. Big game Sunday. Join us for our watch party. Subscribe. Let's hit 19K. I appreciate you guys for all the support in 2020. Let's have a fantastic 2021.